What's up? This is a video just to explain how to not be pulled by any boss in this game ever again. There are technically three ways to avoid pulls from bosses. One is to use an evasion skill, but that doesn't always work because you can't always evade or resist every pull in the game. The second is to use a shield to absorb the damage that is being dealt to you. But again, that's not always 100% because some pulls go over the damage of the shield you can put out, plus your shield has cooldown. The third way and guaranteed way to avoid being pulled is basically to stand within a certain zone of the boss. And that is unique depending on which boss that you are standing next to. So, as an example, I'll go through some videos of different bosses and average radius of where you should stand to avoid being pulled by them. So, if you've done the cube instance before or the weekly for Luna, you know this boss pulls you too. So, there you go. Just now, he's just done the pull and he hasn't pulled me at all. There was no debuff given to me and no paralyze. If we go to another boss, for example, Terrakan, if you stand in the correct place, when he does Gravity Blessing, it doesn't pull you. So as you can see, I don't have a shield on me. I stand in the correct spot. I take the damage, but I don't get the pull paralyzed like the rest of my team. Even the boss in SO does a pull on you. Again, if you stand in the correct place. Again, I'm taking the damage, but I don't get pulled. The boss in Hidden Minionite Warehouse also does the same thing to you. If you stand in the correct place, again, he does the pull, but I don't get the paralyze from the pull. Again, he does the pull again, no paralyze. So this boss is very useful on many bosses. Again, this boss here is gonna pull me. I'm gonna take the damage, but I'm still able to move and not be pulled back by him, which will avoid you dying if you don't have a dispel or way to dispel yourself. Even the boss in Lower Tok does the same thing. Again, capacity, he pulls me, damage, but no pull. Again, this is another example from Stella, but that's not by myself. Let me just show you this one. So this is me doing Stella easy mode. Again, pay attention. I'm standing in a specific location around him. He pulls me, I move, I'm able to move and not get pull paralyzed. Another example, when the boss starts, you see I'm moving to find the correct spot so I don't get paralyzed when he pulls me. Again, pull, and I'm able to move away from that. Also works for the dragons in PW. They do the pull on you too. Force restraint. As you can see, I don't resist it. I take the damage and I don't get paralyzed because I can still DPS. Same again here. It doesn't pull me. I can still DPS. This also works for all bosses if you're playing on a private server. For example, this boss uses to use a magical hook on you. It pulls everyone except for me. I'm able to move away and not get the debuff that paralyzes you. I can come back in. He'll use the paralyze now, but because I moved away because it didn't get pulled. This also works on players. So as you can see here, if I stand in the correct spot and use a pull, this person doesn't move. Just to demonstrate, I've also moved to the side a bit, pulled again, no paralyze. However, if I take a step back, so I'm still 1 meter away, but I'm in a different location, and I use pull, the paralyze effect will come into place, as you can see. And if I move a little bit closer, but I'm still within 1 meter range, and use pull, they're going to move away from me because they're too close. So essentially, each boss has a imaginary circle that goes around them. You need to figure out what that circle is for each one, so that you can never get pulled by them. Essentially, so as I've just shown you, there are a few videos there. You can pause them and see where the specific locations are. There is a bit of lenience, so you can be a little bit more this way, a little bit more away from the boss. But you just have to learn it and practice. And Obviously, it's useful so you don't die, and also if you're struggling with DPS on some bosses, it helps obviously because you don't get paralyzed. Another way, obviously, to see where the location is to let the boss pull you, and then pay attention to where you've been pulled to, and then from there you can use what you've seen and learn from it, and go to stay in that specific location. Or with a boss like Terukan who pulls you multiple times, when you get pulled once, just stay in the same location, and then the following pulls won't pull you anymore. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will try to help answer them. Bye.